Go live.
We ready right now.
Need that.
All I know is this violates every canon of respectable broadcasting.
How are you?
Hey, who wants to help me get this recorder out of here? I need some muscle over here.
You are listening to Blame Your Brother.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Blame Your Brother, episode 284. My Lord, we are just moving along here. If you're with us live in the live chat tonight, the video is frozen up. I have no idea what's going on, but we will try to fix that in just a minute here. But, you know, we're doing it tonight on Wednesday instead of Thursday. So if you are fortunate enough to be hanging out with us, thank you so much for that. If not, go grab the podcast tomorrow on all platforms. You can do it. Not a big deal. We try to stream every Thursday night. Occasionally we do Wednesdays. We are Blame Your Brother. Two of us make up Blame Your Brother. I'm one half of this duo. I am David, a.k.a. D-Brew, Glenn Jackson, Mr. 40%, the Spiritual Midget, Mr. Wonderful, Nick Nickum, and this gentleman sitting over to my left, it is my co-host. My boy is John.
Hey, everybody. John here, a.k.a. Tico, Mr. Groupon, Mr. PTI, the Madman.
They got John Tortorella, a madman.
They do have a madman.
Okay, he's a madman.
There you go. What else do you need to say? We got a madman with us. All right. Yes, so John, you were out last week.
Yes, I was.
So much kudos, thanks to Josh Baker, who joined me. It was fun, man. I hadn't talked to Josh in a while, and it was an interesting conversation. So if you haven't checked that one out, go check it out. It was fun. But John, let's talk about why you were unable to make the broadcast last week. I'll let you tell your story. Go ahead.
You know how sequels are always worse than the originals?
Yeah.
Well, we had a sequel of a kidney stone.
All right, so let's start. Did you ever pass the original one as far as you know?
I mean, I must have. I just didn't realize when it came out.
All right, that's good then.
This one, it was a little bit smaller, but it felt way worse. So.
Okay, so where were you at when this happened?
I was at home. I was trying to get some sleep before I went into work. Wednesday night, around 7:30ish, and started feeling that pain in my back again. I was like, uh-oh. And then it just started getting worse and worse and worse. I was like, oh, well, here we go again.
Did you go to the hospital again?
Yeah. Yeah, that pain, it was not something that you can just not go to the hospital for. Not unless you've got access to some opioids or something.
So what is the deal, man? I mean, what is going on here? Like, there's got to be something. Like, what is the...
There's something called oxalates in foods that, for certain people, when they get into the bloodstream, it attaches to the calcium in your blood, and then it causes the kidney stones. And they could be in things seemingly as healthy for you as spinach,
right,
and nuts, all the way across the board. So I mean,
that's fun times. So I mean, what is the solution long term? Just eat better, do better. I mean,
eat better and drink a lot more water than I normally do. So
yeah, water. No more sodas. No more sody pops. You got to get off them sody pops, boy. They're going to kill you. All right, so, I mean, you're back. I mean, just same procedure, right? I mean, you went. They said stay off work for a couple of days, and here you are. Mm-hmm. All right, well, there you go. I'm glad you're feeling better. I mean, you know, it sucks. I can only imagine. I've never went through it, but I can't imagine it's any fun. So.
Yeah, I hope you never do.
Well, ditto. Well, there you go. Well, a lot has happened since we last spoke to one another. So did Father's Day? Father's Day? Yeah, Father's Day happened because we did. Okay, good. Okay. All right. So let's just go ahead. I'm going to try to hit some of the things that I did since we last. Okay. We had your son's birthday party that I was at. So that happened. Yeah. Which I hadn't talked about. It was a good little event. A lot of people were there. A lot of people I didn't know. Some people I did know. We want to give a big shout. Who was there? Who's our biggest fan that was there? You want to give him a shout out?
Oh, I don't know what he goes by in the chat, but my nephew JD.
Is it Firestorm?
I think it's Fire.
Yes,
something.
he was here, and he had a lot of questions about the show, And, you know, it was nice seeing him. He's obviously a big fan. I would say maybe one of our biggest fans, and he was here. But it was good. John grilled out. The burgers were delightful. Everything was good. It was just crazy, a lot of people. But, you know, how everything go good as far as you know?
Yeah, it went pretty well. A lot more people than I expected.
Yeah, I was like, bro, is there like 50, 60 people here? I know it probably wasn't that many, but it seemed like a lot. So
I mean, if I tried to sit down and count some of them out, I know I'd miss some.
yeah,
But I'd probably be able to count out at least 30 plus.
right. Yeah. So well, it was fun though, man. It's always good to get together, you know, for kids' birthday parties. So that happened. So then I went the next day. I went and saw our friend Trapper Haskins and my brother-in-law Corey Hodges are in a vintage baseball league. And so what they do is they take some of the rules and the style and the clothing from the 1920, 1930 era. So no gloves, and they wear the kind of outfits they wear. They special order them. And it's a fun little event. It was out at in Spring Hill, out at one of the spots out there. It was in a field, and it was cool. You know, they did lose, but they're a newer team, and I found out the team of Spring Hill, Tennessee is like one of the best teams in the state. So defending champions. But it was cool seeing Trapper out there, seeing Corey out there. They both did great, you know, and it was fun. It was a cool little event, man.
What positions do they play respectively?
So Trapper played first base and Corey played center field. And so the one big different rule here is you can catch it off of one bounces and it's an out. So because you don't have a glove.
Because you don't have a glove, yeah.
So it makes the strategy a little bit more difficult. You know, you're not necessarily trying to hit for power. I told Corey at one point, you know, I was talking to him, I said, it seems the strategy would be to lay it down third base and try to outrun the throw because we're going to have to make a throw to a guy without a glove. I don't know, you know, but it was fun, man. It was a nice day to get outside. The weather was all right. It was a little warm, but not too bad. And it's kind of a neat experience. So if you live in an area and you see they have vintage baseball, and I've seen this for years, I definitely didn't know Corey was involved in it. I just discovered Trapper was not too long ago. I've seen it. I've always wanted to go out. So fun little event there. And then that night or the night before, I went to Bucc-ee's. So if people don't know what Bucc-ee's is like a gas station on steroids.
Yeah, it's if you took a gas station convenience store and merged it with Walmart.
Right. It's 120 pumps, fuel pumps. Look, if you go to a Bucc-ee's, do it. The food is fantastic. The atmosphere is great. It's just a fun little experience. There's
plenty of them out west, but they're just starting to come up out here.
Right. So. Cookeville just got one this week. So, that's the closest one to Nashville right now. And so, if you want to make a little trip out of it, we did go to the Space Center. Our family did, and we saw the Space Center. So that was cool, So we had a good time, man. It was good. It was a little staycation that I did, that was the end of it, of course. And then I did go see Lightyear in movie theaters. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was a solid Pixar movie. It's a fun experience. But, of course, I'm sure you've heard.
Oh, yeah.
People were upset about the same-sex couple in the movie having a kiss. And it happened so fast, I almost missed it. Literally, I think if I had not been aware of it, I might have just turned to the side and missed it. I was like, is this what people are irate about now, man? Is this?
They got to be irate about something.
Anyway, Lightyear, fun family movie. I recommend it. It's good, man. It's it is what it is. It's a kids movie. It's about Buzz Lightyear, the character. So it's fun. You take your kids to it, have a good time, and Pixar continues just to put good movies out. But anyway, that's some of what I did. So let's get into some of the stories I have. Unless do you have anything else right now at the time? Anything happening? Nothing? Okay.
Nah.
All right. Well, big things are happening in the world. So let's go ahead and get to those. All right. First off, obviously, while we were out, Roe v. Wade was overturned by the Supreme Court.
Turned.
Now, if you don't know what Roe versus Wade allowed women the privacy. This is key.
That's what the selling point of the original.
The privacy to go to your doctor, and if you need to have an abortion, have one. And people get abortions for a number of reasons, right? Sometimes it's to save the life of the mother. Sometimes it's, to avoid being in a bad situation. Sometimes it's rape, incest. There's another things, right? So the Supreme Court, let's go back in time here. Now, when Trump got into office, 2016, I talked to many people, Christians that I knew. And I said, how are you voting for this man? Like, this man was on the campaign trail just talking smack, objectifying women, making fun of like people with special needs. It was insane. It was like you couldn't believe it was happening. Like, it's like if you're at high school and like the class clown's running for president and his speech is just like jokes the entire time.
It's almost worse than that. It's I would
worse.
I would compare it to a bad guy wrestler running for
There you go.
and staying in character
Right.
the whole time.
Yes. So he's on the campaign trail, and I asked Christians at the time. I specifically, a lot of them I worked with, I said, how are you voting for this man, honestly? And a number of them said he's going to put the justices in the Supreme Court that will allow for Roe v. Wade being overturned. They actually said this. I said, wow, okay. And I thought, that's crazy. That can never happen. So along the way, three of them got appointed by Trump. You had 2 that were previously appointed by Bush. So you have 5 justices that were appointed by presidents that never won the popular election. Let that sink in for a minute. You have 5 right judges, and then you have Clarence Thomas. So you have 6 justices that lean heavily right. Heavily. I mean, Amy Coney Barrett. You can't even make this stuff up how far right she is. But anyway, so now they are starting to make some big decisions. First off, before Roe v. Wade was overturned, they ruled that states cannot subject people to gun laws anymore. So you can just open carry. This is their ruling. Of course, you still have to get through state rules or whatever, but they ruled in New York. So New York has very stringent gun laws. Like, you have
As
to
they should.
You have to have a reason for the gun. You have to apply for a permit. You have to get approved for it. It's like often the storyline of many like shows on TV. I mean, like when the Billions is one where the guy's like, he's a New York DA, and like this guy goes, I need a gun, brother. I need you to push it through and I'll do a favor for you. So it's known, New York. Supreme Court said, nope, they can't do that. New York's like, well, we can. So that's one thing they did. The second thing, Roe v. Wade, that's the biggest one. We kind of knew it was happening. Like I said, it was leaked. And then the last one they did was a school coach, I believe in Texas, would pray after games on the 50-yard line. And the school's like, you don't need to be doing this, man. Like, if you want to pray, we'll let you go back into the locker room and pray with everybody that wants to go with you. He goes, no, I'm praying on the 50-yard line, and I'm blah, blah, blah. And so the school said, well, you're suspended because you're a public employee. You can't be, da-da-da. Well, the Supreme Court said you can pray anywhere you want, essentially. I mean, that's probably a generic way of putting it. But, yes, he's allowed to pray. Which brings up a number of issues. Are they going to allow Muslim prayers now? Are they going to let people bring out prayer rugs? Are they going to let Church of Satanists come out in their prayer? I mean, you're opening up. You got to be careful what you ask for.
Yeah.
But the most important of all those is Roe versus Wade, which I don't understand it, man. I think, every one of these judges, before they were appointed, were asked, what about Roe v. Wade? Are you going to overturn Roe v. Wade? And each one of them said, no, because that's the precedent. That is the law that cannot be overturned. Every one of them lied.
Yeah.
And I just, you know where I stand. I think the people know where I stand on it. I think it's hogwash. I think that you limiting rights to people, women especially, or anyone, it's just, look, everyone has to make their own decision for their own life. That's the world the Republicans, I thought, loved. I thought they wanted everyone to be able to make their own decisions, right? And now you're telling women you have to have the baby. In states like Tennessee, that involves incest and rape.
Yeah.
If your wife or my wife or listener wife was raped by a strange man, she would have to carry the baby to term and then let someone adopt it. Look, I could sound on off all night, man. I could. I'm pissed, and I'm telling every woman out there, if you're not speaking up on this right now and you're a woman or a man, but more specifically a woman, I don't know what the hell's going on with you. I talked to a person, they will go unnamed. They told me, and it's a guy, they didn't even know Roe v. Wade happened, overturned, until their wife told them, like later on. I'm like, what? How is this possible?
How? I guess I'm jealous of that guy.
Look,
Because I mean, I don't know where I could turn and not see it
I'm with you.
splattered.
So I don't know what's going to. Where are we at, man? Where are we at? Where the Supreme Court now is going to start. Look, it's coming. In my opinion, in an educated opinion, okay, this is not just me going opinion. I see them looking at gay marriage next, and it's not going to end well. If they review that, it's not going to end well. All right. Now, Thomas Jefferson years ago wrote in a letter separate from the Constitution that there should be a separation of church and state. He wrote that letter so much that when the Supreme Court, there was a Mormon case, I forget the guy's name, basically said, I want to have multiple wives, and my religion allows it. They cited the Thomas Jefferson letter to the Danbury Baptists, and they said, this guy here who wrote this letter wrote the Constitution, and he wanted a separation of church and state. This was set in forth by the Supreme Court, and they told the LDS guy, you can't have multiple wives. I forget the guy's name. It's Alexander or something. Anyway, so that's where we're at. We've thought for a time, look, if you want to practice your religion, go practice it wherever you want. I don't care. I really don't care. I mean, if you want to practice it and it's not hurting any people, do it. Are we getting past the point now? Because there are Republicans out there, right-leaning ones, that are like, we're bringing the church back to set the laws of this country. So, John, what do you got to say about all of it?
I think that if it was as easy to make the world a righteous place as to create those laws,
right?
We'd have been a perfect world back when Moses came down from the mountain the first time.
Yeah, that's true.
The thing is with abolishing abortion based on a religious aspect.
Is that what it's being abolished for, John?
Honestly, no. But that's the precedent that they're basing it off of.
What do you think it's being knocked down then for? What do you think their argument is?
I think it's not. I don't think their argument has anything. Their argument is the religious aspect.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But the motive behind it all has nothing to do with God or religion or anything. It's about using something that people are passionate about to further their own desires.
Well, yeah, but what is the rule? I mean, what could the ruling be by the judges? I mean, they're just saying basically they want each state to handle it separately, right? I mean, which when a state like Tennessee, are these state? I know it's stupid. To a lot of people, it's a stupid question, but the states are making the Bible the morality clause for the laws. Now, look, if you think your religion is great, I mean, John probably thinks his is great. Joe listener thinks his is great. Muslim listener thinks his is great. And everyone thinks they're good. I get that. I mean, you wouldn't be following if you didn't think it was great.
For the most part.
Right?
Pick a religion, a major religion.
Right.
Let me throw that in there. Pick a major religion. And if everybody who proposed to be a member of that religion followed their religion to a T,
right,
this world would be magnificent.
Well, here's the problem. In Deuteronomy, it outlaws what happens if a woman loses a child, and it's not good. It's basically saying if a man causes a woman to lose a child in the womb, but the woman's not hurt, you pay the man money for the lost child. But if the woman gets hurt, then there's going to be some eye for an eye stuff going on. In that same Deuteronomy chapter and verse, it outlaws the rules for slavery. So are we saying right now...
Outlines.
Yes, outlines.
Yeah.
Outlines for slavery. Are we saying that this is the book you guys want to do? Or you want to bring back slavery? Because...
I don't know. Some of those...
Well, some of them do. Yes, you're right. Because the Bible was used to justify slavery for years because slavery was mentioned in the Bible. This is a slippery slope, dude. You can take the Bible and translate it 1,400 different ways and get 1,400 different things out of it, okay? Yeah. True people, most Christians have not read the Bible. I'm putting it out right now. I know that's a fact.
I would agree with that,
They have not read it. They don't understand the translations. They don't even understand the meanings. They're trying to gain the knowledge of things Jesus said in the year 33 AD and apply it to today. They don't even understand the concepts of 33 AD, 0 AD. They don't understand. That would be like understanding slang 2,000 years from now, dude. People are going to be, what? What were these guys talking about? So, that being said, this is just, I don't know, man. If here's what I say. What's done is done, right? Biden can appoint more judges if he wants to do that. That's his option. I mean, I don't think he'll do that. I don't think he's quite radical enough to do that, but that is an option. You know, Congress could do a number of things. If this doesn't make you, as a woman who is pro-choice, if it doesn't make you get out and vote in the midterms, then we're screwed. Call it. It's game over. It's done. Mm-hmm. But I would say this. When they poll people, the majority of the public says they are for women making the choice. They're not saying they're for pro-abortion. They're saying they're for women making their own choices. Right? I mean, we're not going around telling people what they can put in their bodies at the fast food joint, are you? Yet that's leading to the demise of people. Where does this line stop? Yeah. But I obviously, so I don't know. How do you justify this? I mean, there can't be, I would imagine, because I know some religious people that are obviously pro-life, as they call it. I mean, if they're so pro-life, they'd offer, health care for children at least until they turn 18, but they can't do that. But anyway, how do you justify that when you talk to people about this of your faith? I mean, they can't all agree with you, John. They can't all go, yeah, we're like for this choice.
When I start talking about what I feel and how I feel about it, and I break it down, most of the people understand where I'm coming from.
That's good.
But you gotta look at the type of people who I associate myself with and who I, talk to and would feel comfortable talking to about things like that. And so if there's someone who regularly wears those blinders and are all about the QAnon and all that stuff, right. I'm not having those conversations.
Are there people like that in your church?
I don't know. I'm not saying there are. Or there
okay,
aren't.
So but you're not aware of it. Because I'm aware of people I work with that are 100% like that.
Yeah.
And I'm with you. There's no point of a conversation.
Yeah.
But it was not discussed Sunday at your church. I mean, because I know in some churches it was not only discussed, it was applauded.
The only thing, it wasn't even mentioned directly. The only thing that was mentioned at our church is, due to the history of our nation and the way people react to things, there was a mention of stricter security.
Really?
For protection.
Holy
but
crap.
It was never mentioned why. We knew why.
Right.
But it wasn't mentioned why.
At the church?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. That's crazy to me. Wow.
So, well, a lot of people who are, I'd say 90% of the people who are pro-choice feel that churches are what are driving this decision.
Yes,
and so
there may be some truth to that. But
I'm not saying that's wrong.
Right. But yes, that's what you're saying.
So if they wanted to react negatively,
I understand. Yeah.
That would be a target. On the flip side, I mean, if this didn't get overturned, there might be abortion clinics. There have been abortion clinics that have been bombed,
yes.
and things that really make no sense if that's your argument. But aside from the security measures that have been taken, there's not been any mention of it.
Okay, well, good. Well, I mean, once again, if you're applauding because you believe this is some holy thing you're on, I mean, you're gonna. Nothing I say is gonna discourage you from doing that, but just say this affects every woman in the country. Like, I mean, for the most part, obviously, yes, if you're 80 years old, maybe not, but still, I mean, most of these people have daughters or relatives, or it affects somebody, and as someone who has a young daughter, it definitely affects me, and I would hate the day where the choice is the daughter's going to die, my daughter or her baby. I mean, at least you should have the choice to make that decision, but anyway, So that happened, and now we still got the January 6th hearings going on. And this, John, I feel like honestly I'm going insane. I feel like I'm not in the proper reality anymore. I feel like people have watched these hearings, or at least they're aware of them, right? I've watched them, but I feel most people are at least aware of the talking points. This latest one was the biggest bombshell to me, not of a criminal level, but of who Donald Trump is as a human being, right? This is a guy that knew Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, other of his MAGA cultists, had weapons, were advancing toward the Capitol, looking for Pence. Someone said, hey, they're going to hang Pence. And he puts out a tweet that says, yeah, he's a coward. He's going to get what's coming to him, or whatever the paraphrase of the tweet. I'm sure he didn't actually say that. Well, he said that. And someone's like, I don't know if you should be saying that tweet, dude. They're talking about hanging him. He goes, maybe he deserves it. And then he says, he cuts on the phone with Pence and go, well, this is even at the last thing. This is the one before. And he goes, if you do this, Mr. Pence, we can't be friends anymore. And I went, this is a 70-year-old man saying this, bro. And you know how you know it's real? Because that's some shit he would say. Yeah. 100%. If he said something like, Mr. Pence, I need you to do your obligation to the Constitution. No, this man said, I'm not going to be friends with you anymore. So in the latest meeting, they say, now this is all alleged at this point. There's some questions about how much of this actually happened, but this girl was an aide to one of his higher ups. And she said she was in the room for some of these things, some of the things she was not. One of the things he did was apparently he wanted to stay and go into the Capitol with the people. Man, that would have been the image of all time. That would have been an image for all image. He got mad. He threw a ketchup bottle at a wall. In one theory, he's tried to grab the wheel and jerk it back to the thing. They're saying that didn't happen, but this man was very aware of what was happening. He did not call the dogs off, and there's more hearings coming, and there's more testimony. But John, there's these Trump people have just said, we don't care. We do not care that on that day in American history, January 6th, there was an attempt to at least disrupt democracy. People, oh, they were going to overthrow the entire democracy. If Pence had been a lesser man, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it would have been overturned. If they would have killed Pence, this country would have been rocked. If they had killed Pence and Pelosi, which Proud Boys informants say that was the goal, to kill Pence. This on record with the FBI saying, yes, we were going to go kill that man. Can you imagine? History would be reshaped today.
Yeah.
Yet they don't see a problem with that, John. None of these people had weapons. So you people who love the Second Amendment all went to the Capitol. Not a single one of you had a gun on you. Now that seems...
Really?
Yeah, that seems a little... So that's the one day you gave up your gun, son. The one day. The truth is, it's talking points. A lot of those people got caught with weapons right after it on them, you know. But John, I don't know what to do with these people, and they're not going away. That's the problem. They're in a cult. They're in the MAGA cult, and they're going to ride with this guy until he's not on this planet anymore, and there'll just be another person. I feel this is going to be a thing for a long time. Is this how they felt back in the early days of the country, where there was just like 5 parties? And I'm sure some of those people were crazy as hell too. I don't know, John. Everything lately is just not making sense to me. I mean, what do you think about? I mean, I'm assuming what do you think about the January 6th hearings? I mean,
I think it all comes down to his pride about. I mean, everything he's done. There's nothing that he has backed down on, where his just overwhelming selfishness and pridefulness in himself hasn't been overblown.
Yeah, I agree. I just don't know, John. So there's going to be more hearings. This guy is the most slippery person. They said Bill Clinton was bulletproof. This guy has got more lives than Bill Clinton does. He's been impeached twice. Okay. I know people forget that. It happened twice. It was so good it happened twice. He's now being under investigation for this. The tax stuff I don't even know where we're at with that. Everyone around him has been either tried or charged with something. These Trump people, it would like akin to saying, if Sopranos was real and everyone around Tony Soprano got arrested except for him, and I just went there and go, well, he's innocent. I mean, he can't be guilty. They've never charged him. I mean, every other person he's ever associated with, they've been arrested and they're in prison, but Forget about it. This guy's clean. If you are around a bunch of crooks, and I say it like this, if you are endorsed publicly, openly, by known white nationalist groups, Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, David Duke, the KKK, when you're voting alongside these people, I don't know, man. I think you're going to have to look around and go, am I doing the right thing right now? Am I in the wrong room? I said the same thing about Charlottesville. There was good people on both sides. I don't believe that. That's what Trump said. I don't believe that. But I'm saying this: if I'm walking in a rally and I look over and there's 3 white nationalists beside me, I'm in the wrong rally. It's time to go. I don't know, man. I just so this election, I don't know what the hell's going to happen, and we got to take everything seriously because people took Trump lightheartedly, and I will come on. People like, oh, you want public apologies or whatnot or this or that. I will publicly apologize for not listening to Hillary Clinton, who called a number of these things that are happening now. She can, I know, and look, Hillary's got her own demons. I could go off on her for a few weeks and stuff, but. I just don't know, man. I don't know where we're at. So that's it. All right, let's talk about the boys real quick. Now, are you caught up on the boys?
I believe I am.
Okay.
What days does it drop? On Fridays?
Yeah, Fridays.
Either I'm caught up.
All right. So I want to keep it spoiler free, but what are you thinking of this? What do you think of this season so far? I mean,
I enjoy it. I don't like hearing other people's takes on it because they start bringing politics. I don't want to hear about politics. I just want to watch a show.
But John, it is a political show.
It
is a political satire show.
You
can't discuss the show without talking politics.
I think you can.
Homelander is Trump 2.0. The guy has been written to be Trump. They're having Black Lives Matters issues. They're having the one superhero, Blue Hawk, is basically Thin Blue Line. He's going around. Every character on the show is political 1,000%, which leads me into this. So I love it. And I love this political. I love when they spoof the NRA. I love when they're spoofing Donald Trump. I love it. Okay. But I read an article, and this is on Reddit if you want to go look into it, that a number of alt-right people and far-right people just now realized in season 3 that Homelander is a villain. Now, if you don't watch The Boys is a show about superheroes if they were real, okay? And they're not good people. They're terrible people. Yeah. And Homelander is the Superman of the group. He's indefeatable almost. He's indestructible. He can't be beaten. The only thing he matters in his eyes, do the people love him? He's got daddy and mommy issues out the wazoo. So these people that watch his show, conservatives, they have been writing in saying, I will never watch this show again because he's a bad guy. They watched the first 2 seasons where this man allowed an airplane, spoiler alert if you haven't watched the first season, but he allows an airplane full of people to crash and burn because it would be bad for his public persona. They didn't realize this was the bad guy of the show. But that's interesting. So you watch this show and nothing political. You don't think politically when you watch it.
I mean, obviously there's political things that come up, but I'm watching the show for the enjoyment, for the storyline, and the.
What do you like about it then? I mean, because I think part of the appeal of it is that it's a real world political look at superheroes. I mean, I feel that drives the story. If you take that out of the story, I don't know that there's much story in the show. I mean, what would be the story about? I mean, they are literally a government-run superhero team.
I think my main problem with people is that they believe that the writers of the show are trying to influence real-world politics.
Oh, I mean, I wouldn't. They may be. I mean, I think anyone that writes a book, a TV show, an album, a band, Rage Against the Machine. I know a lot of people that go, I like the band, but I don't like the politics. I think that's just ridiculous. But they were writing songs that kicked ass, but that were meant to influence people politically. That was their entire message.
That's the name of the band.
I mean,
it literally
song,
means
right?
that.
So if these writers, and especially this 3rd season, man, is like heavy. I mean, the NRA stuff was dead on spoof of the NRA.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't watch that episode. I was laughing at it. It was so good. I was like, this is better than satire. Obviously, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if you sat down with the writers and just honest, are you writing this? A, it's enjoyable. I get that. But B, are you doing it political statements? I would think they would probably say yes. I don't have a problem with that. I mean,
I think they were writing it to where they honestly believed this would be true to life.
I don't know. I wish we could sit down with the writers for sure and ask them a few questions. But when you write a movie like Moonlight, okay? Now, Moonlight is one Best Picture. It's about a black man that's gay, and he's struggling with his gay identity, and he finally anyways. If you've never seen Moonlight, go watch it. Even if you're homophobic, just go. It's a freaking fantastic movie. I've seen it multiple times. So it's such a good movie. That is a very political movie as well. It's the thing about TV and movies, the things they can do that other things can't do is they can make you feel empathetic for a character that you will never run into, right? Like if you watch Real World back in MTV, back in the 90s, they introduced people to gay characters to a lot of people in the South that never knew a gay person at all. Yeah. And you start to go, oh, I felt empathy for this guy. He's a nice guy, Pedro, who was on The Real World, San Diego or California, one of those. And I think film and TV shows can do that as well. I think I feel there's a responsibility at some point. If you have a big enough audience and you feel passionate enough about something, you can make it entertaining. Because I would argue the same thing about Peacemaker. I felt Peacemaker was a very anti-conservative show as well. That's what I'm saying. When conservatives watch The Boys or they watch Peacemaker or they watch The Handmaid's Tale, I don't think a number of them realize these shows are about them. I know, because about The Handmaid's Tale is the one that kills me the most. They watch that show and go, oh, that's not about me. Bro, that is 100% about you. It literally is about you, man. I'm thinking with The Boys, if you are a hardcore Trump person, you're watching this, you're telling me these people don't realize the show's making fun of them. John, how is that possible? How is that possible?
I mean, 10 years ago, the Trump figure that is today, nobody thought would ever exist.
Well, no, not as the president, of course. He was always his own hype man.
And so I think that maybe in my personal view, I'm disassociating it with politics in the real world because I don't want to believe it. That's why I'm not.
So would you stop watching? Okay, so John, if you don't know, John is a member of Latter-day Saints.
Mm-hmm.
If they introduced an LDS character, aka Mormon, for the non-educated, if they introduced a character on the show and he was terrible, and it was just mocking the religion, would you stop watching? Do you think?
Probably not.
Okay, well, at least you're honest about it. But you would realize that he was doing things that were like in attuned to your religion, but they were making fun of it. You would at least know, right? You would be like, oh, okay, well, I mean, they're obviously making fun of my religion, right?
Yeah.
I mean, once again, when I called myself a conservative, I could watch.
I mean, if the show started with that premise, I probably would have never started watching.
Well, yeah,
it.
of course, yes.
I mean, I've never watched a single episode of Big Love, or Sister Wives. So I mean, I don't.
Big Love's actually a good show, but regardless, and I don't think it's making fun of religion, but I think it's just anyway. That's another story for another day. When I was a conservative, John, when I identified as a Republican and I would watch Saturday Night Live, I knew when they were making fun of me, which was a lot. And I just said, okay. I mean, a lot of times I go, yeah, that's true. That's true. That's a little bit much. That's true. I just don't know how people watch these shows and they're just unaware that they're about them. That being said, I love The Boys. I think it's one of the best superhero shows. Like when I'm thinking the Mount Rushmore of superhero TV shows, which I don't know that we necessarily could do because there's not that many. I'm putting The Boys on there. I'm putting Umbrella Academy on there. That's 2 already, like for sure. I think those are some of the best superhero shows that have ever been put down. Ongoing series. Like once again, we start getting into, Scarlet. What was that show? WandaVision. I don't think that counts. That's a single run. An ongoing series. You find me 2 shows better than The Boys or freaking Umbrella Academy. These are the shows I want to watch. I told you I don't want to watch WB. I don't want to watch Miss Marvel. I watch Miss Marvel, man, and it's just not good, John. It's crap. We got to sit here and act like we like this show because why? Because the representation, and I love the representation. And you know who that representation is for? Young people, not for us 40-year-old dudes. That show is not for us.
No.
You can watch it and like it, and that's fine. If you do, I've said before, that's acceptable, but it is not for you. If you like it, that's good. I want to say this. If you don't like it, that's okay too.
Yeah.
Look, I watched one episode. I didn't think, oh, this is the worst show I've ever watched. I said, this just not.
It's not for me.
It's not for me.
Yeah.
Did I see that younger people would probably like it? Of course they would. I'm 45 years old. Don't want to be watching high school shows anymore.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. So, but I love The Boys. The latest episode, insane. I mean, you keep thinking like, can it get crazier? And the answer is yes. Every episode is crazy. This one was crazy. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
We can't even say much without spoiling it, man.
Yeah.
But if you're not watching The Boys at this point, and you're conservative, just try the first season and just remember Homelander's a bad guy. That's what I would tell you. No, it's great. I don't know how people don't like. I'm with you. I think you can separate sometimes your politics. Now, if it's very political and it's too much and you just can't deal with it, then bail out. But I've watched Michael Moore when I was a conservative, and I'll watch other stuff. I don't care, man. The Daily Wire, that's probably a bit more. I'm not going to be watching Ben Shapiro movies, I don't think. But who knows? I mean, it's good. It's good. So, all right. Any more thoughts on The Boys? Any standout thoughts here? Who is your favorite character at this point? Let's just say.
I mean,
this will say a lot about you.
Starlight.
I figured you'd say Starlight. I think Mother's Milk is becoming like the standout star of the show, right? I mean, he's the moral.
Building up, yeah.
He's the moral central of the show, even though the Butcher's the best. I mean, once again, he's the opposite of Homelander in the worst way. So it's almost like if you don't like Trump, Biden, I mean, you got to pick one. This show, in some
I'd
ways,
almost compare him more to Hillary than I would.
Right. So,
Biden.
you know. But anyway, Boys, fantastic show. If you're watching it, let us know. All right, well, Elvis the movie came out this past weekend, John. Neither of us seen it. I mean, you haven't seen it. I want to see it. I hear it's good. You know, I hear it's good. I don't know you're gonna learn anything new about Elvis, but I hear it's a good movie. So we decided this week for our Mount Rushmore, we would do the Mount Rushmore of Elvis songs. And Elvis has a lot of songs.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot. But we had to tune it down to what were you looking for then? I guess is what, are you doing your favorite or are you doing?
No, I'm not doing my favorite.
Okay, I'm not either. Okay.
I'm doing songs that almost synonymous with the man and his run.
Okay.
Like you can't hear that title or that phrase or that song without images of Elvis popping in your head.
All right, I like it. That me too. I just went for if I had a mixtape and I could say these are the 4 songs that make up the DNA of Elvis. Here's what I'm going to give you. So that's kind of what I looked at. Of course, I'm probably not going to get all 4 of them because we do Mount Rushmore. If somebody picks one, that's off the board, so you can't have it. Now, you go first this week?
I don't know.
Well, I think so because I picked Darth Vader first last week. I would imagine I imagine that's the first pick, Darth Vader of Fathers, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I picked Darth Vader. You picked Miss Doubtfire. Yeah. So you go first this week.
Okay.
All right. So John, Mount Rushmore, Elvis Presley songs. What if I did Elvis Costello songs? How great would that be? You just like I'm like, yeah. What's so funny about Peace, Love, and Understand?
Allison, what?
Oh my God, Allison. Allison's one of the greatest songs I've written.
Yeah.
God, I should have done that. I should have made 2 lists for you. Okay. Anyways, all right. What's your first pick for
First pick? It's a cover. He didn't. Wasn't the first one to come out with it, but I think it's one of those songs. It's you think Elvis, and that's Hound Dog.
Of course, Hound Dog. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. I mean, yeah, that's when you think young Elvis. Not fat Elvis, but young, skinny, ready to conquer the world Elvis. Yeah, I mean, Hound Dog is a very, very good pick. I mean, obviously, I had it on mine, but anything else? I mean, anything you got to say about Hound Dog? I mean, it's a basic song.
It's very basic. Not much to it, but I mean, that's you don't think of Mama Cass, who was the original person that sang the song. You
really?
think of Elvis.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Mama Cass. Wow. All right, well that's obviously a good one. Hound Dog. Okay. My first pick, I'm going to go a little bit later since you're probably not going to pick another early one. I got some early ones, but the one I think of the most, the one when I walk around my house, what Elvis song do I sing all of the time? And I don't know why, but it's Now or Never. I can't.
That's a good one.
Every time I think vocally, I love it. I think it's just it's a romantic song. I think his vocal prowess was getting up there. This thing is, Elvis got older, man. His vocals just got better. You know, young Elvis, man, he was hungry. He was, ain't no hell no, you know, but he got older. He slowed it down. Yeah. He found the emotional core of these songs, and it's Now or Never. If there is a movie about Elvis, or if there's some type of Elvis wedding, or if there's some type of Vegas thing, I think it's Now or Never has been in a ton of movies. I mean, it's Now or Never. I mean, come on, man. You can't beat that. Come hold me tight. I mean, come on, man. This is Elvis at his most Elvis. This is the sequin jumpsuit, man. This is the lady. Dude, this dude used to just go into the crowd and just kiss ladies like it was going out of style, man. Which we've talked about before. What a time. Yeah. We think we're in a crazy time now. That was even a crazy time. You wouldn't take your wife to an Elvis show, would you?
Probably not.
I don't know. That's weird. But yeah, it's Now or Never. I don't really know the year of It's Now or Never, but definitely it was on the second half of his career, right? I mean,
I believe so.
But I believe, what's the last song he ever played? I believe it may be It's Now or Never. It's some love song. I'll look it up while you're.
My second choice. Most of my choices are going to be earlier Elvis.
Okay.
Songs, but my second choice is Jailhouse Rock.
Jailhouse Rock. A water through the crowd and a man and meow. Really? That's interesting, John. Jailhouse Rock. What do you got to say about Jailhouse Rock?
It's pumping. I mean, it's like, I mean, it's like Hound Dog, but with adrenaline pumped into it. I mean, it's super fast. It's you can't sit still when it comes on, and if you know Elvis, sitting still is not something that happens.
You want me to tell you something, man? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I've told a lot of people this, but the Beatles, Elvis, many other Rolling Stones, I generally do not like the young band songs. I'm not a big I love the Beatles, obviously, but like if someone's like, throw out the first catalog, Elvis, same thing. If you like throw out Hound Dog, throw out Jailhouse Rock, I'd be like, all right, man, that's cool. I've said it before. I'm never that I can remember. I will never openly go, let me listen to Hound Dog, right? Like I'm never going to put that on Spotify. But these are essential to his DNA. I will give you that. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, but like Jailhouse Rock, it's goofy.
It is goofy.
I mean, the video's goofy. Everything about it's goofy. It was in the movie, right?
Yeah.
It's a good song, though. It's a kicker song. All right. So that's your number 2. So you got Hound Dog, Jailhouse Rock. Oh, man. I got so many here. Oh, my.
There's a lot. I didn't even bother making a list because I knew there'd be so much to choose from.
All right. I'm just going to go with the one. We were in a band. We covered a song all of the time,
If we were doing favorite Elvis songs, this would be on my list.
Well, I feel this may be his best song. As far as subject material, vocal delivery, impact on his life.
Speed and slow down.
Yes.
I mean, it's got a slow part and a fast part, too.
Suspicious Minds.
It's a great song.
Come on, Suspicious Minds, baby. Yes, we were in a band. We would cover that. Who sang that song? You or me?
You sang it, and I sang some silly backup stuff.
I was asking my kids, like, because I was going over to listen to my head, and I went, we used to play all the time. Who sang that? I was like, I did. I don't even remember. But it is a fun song to sing.
It is fun.
And it's about his crumbling marriage. I mean, it's fantastic, man. I mean, like, and it's just it's got to be one of his top played songs for sure. I don't know what the Spotify 5 is. I'm going to look it up at the end of this, but I would imagine Suspicious Minds is up there. Most of the list I looked at, it was in the top 5 at least. I mean, great song, great kicking song, and once again, it's older Elvis. So, yeah, I love Suspicious Minds. I will listen to. I will go search that one out all the time. So, all right, you are up, John. What's next?
You got to slow it down because he wasn't just about these burners. I mean, he had some slow ones too, and I've got to go with. I believe it's the first movie. It shares the same as the first movie he was in, and it's Love Me Tender.
Yeah, that's a good one, man. Love me tender, love. Yeah, I mean, it's I mean, the dude. Okay, he did not. He was obviously. Me and John talked about this off mic. He was a performer. He wasn't a writer. He wasn't.
Yeah.
He wasn't writing these tunes, but he would obviously get songs that worked for him. He would have people write songs for him, and
You have writers and you have storytellers.
right.
Elvis was a storyteller. You give him the story and he'll deliver it.
Yeah. And he could, yeah. I mean, one of the most, when you look back in history, I mean, if you just did the Mount Rushmore of the greatest performers of all time, like you say, I mean, he's number one.
Yeah.
Like he just captured America. Once again, I wouldn't want him to pick up a guitar and, start writing tunes. I mean, maybe he was great, so I don't know if he was, but he didn't do that, so we got to judge on that. But yes, Love Me Tender is a great love ballad, slows it down, which just shows, like you say, you juxtapose Hound Dog and Love Me Tender, like this is the same guy. It's crazy. Yeah. All right, I got to go something early because you grabbed a lot of the early ones. So I had Love Me Tender. All the ones you're listing were on my list. I got to go with All Shook Up. I mean,
it's a great song.
I mean, boy, you get the hips moving, man, because the young Elvis was the hips, I bless my soul, what's wrong with me? I mean, these are just classic songs, man. Like, and the thing he did, which, I mean, he would tell you anyone else told you, he took the black man's music and played it for white people. I mean, he was very vocal about that. He knew what he was doing,
But, I mean, the thing is like, I don't think he ever, like, shunned them or anything.
No.
He would celebrate
right
black people, their rights, and,
yes.
and he was a big proponent.
Yes,
it's not like he just took this and took a ball and then ran with it and then forgot.
No, he was very public about this is and he grew up in an environment where he was around black people exclusively. I mean, and he did a lot of things for people in his community. Look, I know he's a mixed man. I know we could talk about the bad things he did, and that's for another day. But I mean, I think deep down, I've read a lot about him, and he seemed like he had a good soul to him.
Yeah,
he may have been with the wrong people at the end, but I think he had a good heart.
I think that no matter, I think with Elvis, I mean, with anybody, I mean, if you take somebody and you give them a winning lottery ticket and they didn't earn that money,
yeah.
They're not going to appreciate it. They don't know. And I think a lot of Elvis's experiences in his life, he went from not being able to do anything to being able to conquer the world, but just didn't know how to handle that.
No, of course, who would?
And so,
these people are equipped to do it.
No.
All right, John, we're down to your last choice. You've got Hound Dog, Jailhouse Rock, and Love Me Tender. What is going to round out that list? You swinging for the fences on this?
I am going to go with
see.
A hunk of burning love.
Oh, I had that one on my list too, but
yeah.
Whew,
I mean, there's so many songs you could put on these lists that it'd be hard to argue any of them. But
it's tough, man, because my last one, I don't. Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Man.
There's some other ones that I was like debating on, but I mean, if you wanted somebody to give you just some random, depiction of Elvis Presley, they might throw in a hunka.
No, John had on my list. Yes, it's obviously one of his 10 most important songs. I've written around 10 of his most important songs. We've gotten 7 of them right now, and I still got like 3 on the list. Okay, man, I really don't know. I've got 2 that I really want to put on here. I'm just going to go with it. I'm going to go with the cover as well. Willie Nelson had this song, but I think Elvis's version is superior. I think, once again, it was something that was very dear to him. That was his love for his wife and the way he loved her. But Always on My Mind by Elvis is just, it's better than the Willie Nelson version.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion, but once again, when he tapped into those feelings of,
he could do that, and probably, I mean, Suspicious Minds is my favorite Elvis song, but my second favorite Elvis song is not very well known.
What is it?
It's called Don't Cry Daddy.
Are you crazy? I sing that. Yes.
I love that song so much.
Oh, it's so good.
And he taps into it. The emotion in that song is like, dude, are you crying? After he's finished the song, you want to walk up to him and say, "Are you okay?"
It's a tough song about divorce. I walk around my house. My daughter's name is Abby, and I always say, "Don't cry, Abby. Abby, please don't cry." No, that's I wanted to put that on there, but okay. All right, let's go over the list, and then we'll save the ones that we missed. John had Hound Dog, Jailhouse Rock, Love Me Tender, Burning Love. I had It's Now or Never, Suspicious Minds, All Shook Up, and Always on My Mind. In the Ghetto is a great one.
Yeah, the Ghetto is my third favorite.
I know, PC, but it's who cares? It's a great song. Can't Help Falling in Love is a great one. The Wonder of You, I absolutely love that. I think it's one of his best vocal performances. And An American Trilogy is
yes.
so good.
I forgot about American Trilogy. That's a great song. Oh, yeah.
That's one of my top 5 Elvis songs ever. I mean, that song takes you on a journey. Is it about some crazy slave? I don't even know what the song's about, truthfully. I don't really care. I mean, this guy could sing out of a phone book, and it's good. Because when he hits the register, man, he blows it apart. So your favorite Elvis song is Suspicious Minds.
Yeah.
I would have to say, Suspicious Minds probably mine as well. But any of my 4, or any of my 3 for sure. I mean, It's Now or Never, Always on My Mind. It may be my second favorite one. I mean, I've listened to that one many, many times.
Yeah.
I mean, the man had great songs, right? So,
Don't Be Cruel didn't make the list. Heartbreak Hotel.
Oh, that's a good one. I like Blue Moon in Kentucky. I feel
Blue
that's
Moon in
another
Kentucky,
deep cut,
another big
man.
cover. But
that's the Sun Sessions,
yeah.
which is important. And the thing about Elvis, like most artists, like you're like, oh man, you know every Beatles album. I'm like, yeah, I know what song this is on. I couldn't tell you what song any Elvis. I don't even think of the guy in albums.
I don't either. But. And the thing is like, you ask your average music fan to name 20 songs by one artist.
Right.
Most people can't.
No. Elvis, they'd get close. If you say 10, I would say yes. 10 probably the average music person could. I would agree with you.
But an earlier episode, we had those girls on from that Canadian podcast.
Yes.
And we were going back and forth, round robin style, naming Queen songs.
Yes.
And I think we'd be able to go just as long naming Elvis songs. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, the catalog is wide open. And then, like, I want to tell people, my dad, when I grew up, I listened to Elvis nonstop. He had played Elvis in the car. Wherever we drove was always Elvis. And if I ever talk to my father again, one of the questions I will literally ask him is, Dad, I remember you had Elvis songs A to Z that were played on the radio around his birth date. The oldie station would play A to Z, every Elvis song in alphabetical order. He had taped these. He had blank cassette tapes of every song. I don't understand how he did it. Was the man on meth? Was he on cocaine? How would you do this, John?
Driven.
Well, I guess they would probably play it just for a few hours at a time, right? But I don't know. I think this is a marathon. I don't know. It's weird. Anyways, Elvis, you rock. All right. Well, John, we're at the end, man. Hour went by quick.
Yeah.
We learned Elvis rocks, man, in the country. I don't know what to do about it, man. I just, someone give me, I don't know, man.
Lordy, Mom, I think America's burning.
Yeah, there you go. So, all right. Well, we've come to the end of this episode. Hopefully, I will make you feel a little bit better. You need to go to our website, buybpod.com. That's where you can get all of our content. You can follow all of our social media links. You can grab all of our past episodes. You can check out all the cool artwork we do. And also, John, while it's still remaining, what is on that website as well?
There's also an Amazon affiliate link. You can go on there and buy your Elvis swag, your anything swag. You might even be able to buy fireworks for your 4th of July coming up.
Oh, that's coming up like this week.
Yep.
Wow, the time is moving by, man.
Yeah, go to our website first. Click on an Amazon affiliate link first before you do your shopping. Then we get a little cutback from everything that you purchase. That way, it'll help the show, and it'll help us bring more content to you.
Right. And before you leave, if you're looking for some great Tennessee local news, I'm wearing this hat. It's Tennessee Holler, Holler, Tennessee Holler. Go check those guys out. They cover local politics. Definitely leans more left if you're looking for that kind of content. Justin Canoe is the guy that runs it, and he puts out great videos. He goes up and kind of talks talks, approaches some of the more conservative-leaning politicians and tries to get answers out of them. He's great. So Tennessee Holler, I'm rocking their hat if anybody sees it tonight. Go check those out. And another one is real quick, just because, people are saying, like, what do I do? How do I get involved? Well, first thing, politically, you need to know what the issues are. Another one's called Tennessee Outlook. That's a great one as well. So if you're looking to get involved right now, because I've had people actually on TikTok reach out to me and go, how do I know what to do politically? Start with the knowledge, man. Build the knowledge up. Know who people are that represent you. Read the news, all that. So there you go. It'll be all right. We're going to get through all this. We always do, hopefully. If not, well, it's good knowing you guys. So with all that being said, John, is there anything else?
Don't blame yourself when you can blame your government.